Before we start playing, though, there is something that I did want to bring up. And it is that I want to explain the rules of my stream once again. I think I realized that I never explained to them in Japanese or in Spanish. So I think it would be fair for me to go over them again in all three languages, just so that we can talk about the flow of the stream. I am just starting out, so there's a lot of things that I've been experimenting or trying, and I think there's still some things that I want to figure out in terms of how I want to approach streaming in multiple languages as well. So I think it would be a good time for us to go over the rules. First, we're going to explain in English, again, the rules. I'm going to go very briefly because I already went over this on the first part of Nine Souls. So I'm going to go over quick with English. The first rule is do not mention me in other people's streams unless I'm brought up first. Likewise, do not mention other streamers unless I bring them up. This is pretty self-explanatory. We don't want to bother anyone with our name or identity, so unless someone mentions us first, let's avoid being brought up. And likewise, maybe other streamers do not want to be brought up in my stream, in my chat. So if possible, try to avoid mentioning other streamers. Next, do not spam, make harmful comments, or slander anyone. Let's be kind. Yeah, let's avoid doing any negative comments towards anyone. Let's not spam. I understand that sometimes I cannot read your comments or your questions, but in order to give everyone an opportunity to be read, let's avoid typing and entering the same thing over and over. Please refrain from comments that are unrelated to the stream's content. I am guilty of also not following this rule. I have noticed that I can get off track depending on the questions that I reply to in chat, and that could affect the experience, especially for game streams and in the bots, in the archives. So if possible, I am going to try to stay on topic, especially when I'm playing a game with story. And then maybe during times with gameplay, I'll do a little bit more open chatting. However, I ask chat, just like I ask myself, to control the flow of stream a little bit better with the questions I choose to answer. I ask chat to at least try to remain on topic and maybe ask questions that are more related to what I'm talking about or what I'm playing at the moment. Does that mean we're not allowed to chit chat? I would appreciate if we do not chit chat amongst each other. This is more like a Frio and chat conversation thing. But feel free to chat among each other off stream. Now then, spoiling and backseating are prohibited unless I ask for assistance. Just like when Rain World, when I ask people for help, I'll make sure to ask for help when I need it. But otherwise, please let me figure things out myself. Next, feel free to chat in any language as long as you follow the rules. Of course, I am glad to speak English, Spanish, and Japanese. Those are the languages that I understand and that I can speak and hold a conversation with. But sometimes I'll mention words in other languages, and I notice they're getting clipped and they're getting appreciated. That makes me happy. However, I will ask chat to refrain from making comments like, can you please say this in this language, if I am not talking about that language. Is it okay if we try to answer a question for someone in chat, like what does a word mean? Yes, as long as it's not a continuous conversation. Answering a question is fine. The last rule is please refrain from pointing out the above rules to others. We don't want to give any people not following these rules or creating chaos or just trying to stir up trouble any attention. So let's just ignore or report and keep doing our thing, because I will try to do my best to also ignore as well. If I need to elaborate more, need to add further rules, or need to do something else, I'll make sure to do it and explain as well. 次、日本語で説明します。Sorry for taking too long, but I really wanted to explain all my rules in 3 languages. Thank you very much for understanding. I thought it was important for me to explain the rules in all 3 languages. And now that we have done so, I believe in Doremi to follow them properly. And anything else, I'll do my best to also control the flow of the chat and ignore any comments that are unrelated.